Hello, my name is Ariana Masterjohn, and today I would just like to take a moment to discuss what I learned through my interview about my person's work and how it connects to the different theories of emotion, attitudes, and motivation in the workplace. So, when structuring my interview, I broke it up into 4 main sections. Section 1 focused primarily on context. So here I set the stage of just getting a general overview of where he works, what he does, and the different roles involved and the reputation of the company. So breaking down the section a little further, there wasn't really any big theories tied into the section necessarily. It was kind of just setting the stage and getting the facts for the interview. So the person I interviewed is a good friend of mine who worked this summer teaching golf lessons up in Vermont. He taught private lessons to beginners and those who just wanted to improve their game, along with supervising kids camps and adults camps as well. He did work in the clubhouse of the golf course too, doing various tasks there. So because of the inconsistency of scheduling lessons and how many people will schedule a lesson a week, and camps too, his weeks can vary widely from maybe a 10-hour week to a 40-hour plus week. And he did say that he kind of enjoyed the inconsistency of it, and he could pick what days he wanted, and he kind of just gave the times that he was available and was able to request time off. And in that sense, it worked out very well for his summer, and he got to do something that he really enjoyed as well. When it comes to the reputation of the company, it does hold very good standing within the community, and he stated that it was on the rise as well. And just in general, it was a very good place to work at. The staff was great, the customers there were great, everyone was kind of just, having a good time, happy to be outside in the summer and golf and learn as well. Section 2 focused in on motivation. So we talked about a variety of different theories in here throughout my questions. We talked about reinforcement and does he feel like he's getting rewarded and seen for his behavior and recognized for it as well. We talked about kind of how that connects into VIE theory and a little bit on self-efficacy and self-esteem and kind of just how he views himself too. But the theory that I want to focus in on for the purpose of this video is on person as intentional and kind of the goal setting theory of motivation. So when starting a lesson, we'll take the example of doing a private lesson with a beginner who doesn't really know much, right? So when starting a lesson, he introduced himself and they kind of set a stage of, well, where is this person at and what goals would they like to accomplish by the end of their lesson today? So it sets not only goals for the client on what they would like to achieve and the service they're paying for and these different factors, but it also sets goals for him to teach and, how he's going to get there and his goals and where he wants this person to end up at the end of their lesson. So in that way, it was really good to set goals, and he felt like they were challenging enough that they pushed him and motivated him to, help this person improve by the end of their lesson and get them to a spot where they're feeling more confident and comfortable in their skills, and also him to a spot where he feels like, he can teach these skills effectively and is directly seeing the results of that. So our third section focuses in on emotions. So here I asked a variety of different questions about, does he feel emotionally and morally supported in the workplace with his coworkers and peers? I asked about how he handles emotions in the workplace as well, and kind of just that, his predisposition to be more positive or negative. So here I want to focus in on that negative versus positive affectivity. So he, in general, is very positive person. He has a tendency towards positive emotions and very good at process emotion. So focusing in on, processing the emotion now and handling it in a very controlled and thought out way. So an example that I would like to discuss is kind of just how a feeling that came up for him at work is frustration. in terms of working with a large group of kids. So you have, imagine 9 a.m., a large group of children coming into this golf course to learn how to golf. And a lot of them maybe don't really want to be there at 9 a.m. to learn how to golf, right? And you have older gentlemen golfers who, are members of the golf course and want to enjoy their leisurely 9 a.m. golf. And there's this loud, rambunctious group of disrespectful children. And, there can be a lot of tension between those two groups and within those groups too. And for him, he has to manage that and manage his own frustration too. And kind of just respectfully and firmly, discipline the children and get them ready and focused to learn and excited to learn too, while keeping himself in check and keeping the other golfers on the course, in check as well, which can be a lot at 9 a.m. to keep the peace on a golf course, right? And he does handle this very well, as I discussed too, kind of that bit of process emotion and focusing in on now and handling it now in the moment. And I think that's something he does very well, and he does handle emotion very well, generally outside of work and inside the workplace as well. So last but not least, I would like to talk about attitudes. So here we talked about a variety of different questions, from job satisfaction to does the company treat its employees fairly, and a little bit on motivation too, a little bit of extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation. But the part that I want to focus in on is the theories of commitment. So there's the 3 different types of commitment theories. Effectively, he did not really have an emotional commitment to this job. He didn't really have an emotional tie. It was just one summer. He got free golf and the paycheck was great and the coworkers are great, which was very motivating, but not really, an emotional attachment to the place. On a continuance level, he was not staying there for the paycheck, for the money. He was not dependent on that job for the paycheck. While the summer is a great time to make money outside of school, he wasn't really staying at that job for the paycheck, and knows that, if he did leave, he would be okay and he would find another job. So he wasn't really focused on that level of commitment. And on a normative level too, he didn't really feel any obligation to stay there. He only worked there one summer. And while the team is great and the people are great, he doesn't really feel a sense of obligation to stay there. So I was curious about what drove him to stay there and why he stays there, and kind of if he will go back again next summer or if he will look for a new opportunity. And his reply was kind of just that this was a good opportunity. He got to be outside, he got to play a sport that he loves and make money doing it. And he feels that by working there last summer, he's kind of got a better stepping stone up to, ask for maybe a raise in pay and kind of different benefits too, maybe next summer, which can be, very beneficial. And yeah. So kind of just in a summary conclusion of everything, we talked about a variety of different things and some stuff that I didn't even touch on in this video, but it is reflected in my paper write-up as well and in my notes. But kind of just to recap, the big theories that we discussed in the video today are on person as intentional and goal setting theory and how goals help motivate at work. We talked about organizational commitment of effective and continuous and normative, and how none of those really applied to him, so why does he stay there? And we talked about emotions too, and negative versus positive effectivity and process emotion. So yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you. Have a great rest of your day.